Hey guys, Jay Young here with Young Red Angus. Thank you so much for making the video you're watching today a part of your day. In today's video, I'm going to take you guys on a ride along. And so we're going to go to all the places where we have cattle out. And I want to show you guys how we're currently grazing them out on pasture, and how the logistics of doing rotational grazing over the winter here are not really feasible right now. And so I'm going to show you what we do, and then I'm going to show you or talk to you about what we're planning on doing in the future to make it to where we can do rotational grazing year round. So let's go. First thing that's going to happen in the morning is either my dad or myself will feed cattle on a cold morning like this. That's my dad's job. I go out and I check each pasture, make sure the fence is hot, and I break off ice off the tanks if it's needed. My brother, who just recently came back to the farm in March, he's hauling water. So the first pasture I come to is the heifer's pasture. I walk up, check the fence, make sure it's hot, and then from there I go to the bull's pasture. The bull's pasture is fairly easy because we have the tank heaters, and I've got a water source there. I just turn the water on, fill it up, and make sure that they have hay for dry matter on their pasture. From there, we go to the cow's pasture. My brother's already been here, and I think the tanks were completely empty on this particular morning, so he was just able to fill up the water. Check the fence there. From there, I go to the bred heifer's pasture. Turns out my brother's there filling up the tank, and he's already pitching ice off the water, so I just simply check the fence here and make sure everything's good to go. This whole process, if everybody's there doing their job, nothing goes wrong, takes about an hour. If something goes wrong, deer go through pasture, it can take much longer. So between this and building pasture for, the next place we have to move heifers, the next place we have to move bred heifers, the next place we have to move cows. The bulls, there's only 45 of them developing on that wheat, so I don't have to build a ton of pasture for the bulls, but it's a lot of pasture building, and there's other stuff we have to get ready over the winter. And if I was doing rotational grazing, it's 30 minutes if I'm getting it done fast at every place, and then moving tanks, and tanks get frozen over the winter. So just doing rotational grazing over the winter really isn't feasible in my situation. I hope that gives you guys an idea of what I'm currently doing and the challenges with doing rotational grazing. And so what we're wanting to go to, and what I've already purchased, is halters they're GPS collars that will go on our cows so that we can do rotational grazing, and we can set that up on our phone and move them on a fairly regular basis. And so I'm really excited because the guys with halter are coming today, and I'm going to take them and show them around the place, and we'll kind of get an idea of how everything's going to work. So Jack just showed up with the halter team, and Jack's going to let us know what the plan for the day is. So Jack, do you want to just tell them what we're going to do today?
So today we're out here with Jay, excited to take a tour of the operation, understand a little bit more about what he has going on, walk him through the system itself and how it potentially is going to look like on the operation, and make sure and get any questions that Jay has answered, and make sure and walk through the onboarding process with him on the ranch.
Awesome. So I learned about the halters from Mush Rushes. Mush Rushes have this set up on their farm, and they're going to do a tour here later in January. I'll get the dates down here on there. So if you guys see this video before that and you want to make it up to Mush Rushes to see their tour, that'll be on there. And then once we've got the system up and running, we'll do a field day or something like that here to show how it's working. But you want to explain the collar real quick, Jack?
Yeah. So really quickly explaining the halter collar itself, there's a few key features that we need to talk through. One of the biggest features is going to be the solar panels on the device. As you can see, there's two of them. It sits up on top of the cow's neck, so we get ample amount of solar charging, ideally unlimited battery life for the system. Each collar will last about 6 years. During that timeline, you don't need to change any batteries out on the operation, and you can just keep it on that cow throughout that whole time. The other big features are going to be the stimulation cues. So there's sound, shock, and vibration on that on the collar. The sound is actually directional, so we can move cows left or right depending on what direction they need to go. It helps them understand what direction is quickest to get back into the pasture and helps them kind of understand, I guess, the system overall. And then we have a low pulse electric shock. That's going to go ahead and remind that cow to listen to the sound cues if they continue pushing that boundary. Once they're trained to the system, they'll listen to the sound majority of the time, and they really don't get that pulse very often. And then finally, there's the vibration on the collar. That vibration is only used when moving the cows, so they only associate it with a fence is dropped and new forage is available. So when a cow gets that vibration on the collar, they know that they can move into that next pasture. That's the only time it's associated with anything else. So it's a positive cue for those cows. But again, here's a halter collar, sits up on top of the cow's neck, and there'll actually be a counterweight on the collars that go live. And those counterweights just are heavier than the collar, keep everything centered up on top of the cow's neck so it never falls off the cow.
Awesome. Okay, so the rest of the team from Halter just showed up. I'm going to introduce you to them, and then we're going to go do a tour of the farm.
Well, I thought, but then the mullet's out and it's dusty, and hair tie, but you can just have a dusty mullet in the back.
There we go. Yeah, no, that's perfect. So Matt, give your name and what your role in the company is.
Yeah, no worries, Jay. My name's Matt, from New Zealand, and I work with our customer success team. So I'm working with our ranchers across the US, making sure that what we're building and the product is really relevant for what they need, and just making sure that we're super aligned with where the industry is going, what ranchers require. Kind of that link between the rancher and the engineering space to it as well.
Awesome.
Hi, I'm Kirsty. I am the account manager for our beef ranches in New Zealand. So I'm over here in the United States learning a bit more about the ranching systems and how Halter can benefit them.
Awesome.
Hi, I'm Georgie. I'm in our virtual fencing team, and more specifically in our research and development team. Also from New Zealand, but here in the States for the next while to see how we can get our product into the States.
Awesome. Well, we're going to hop in the vehicles and just take them on a tour of the place. So then we did a tour of the farm. I took them to all the cows, the pasture that we have, the 3-year-olds all the way up to the 11-year-olds. There's about 150 of them on, or 156 on 40 acres. And so they're on that for 2 weeks, and then we're going to move them to the next paddock of corn stalks. So I took them there, then we went to the bulls and just showed them around the whole area that the collars are going to be on. So this map kind of shows you the area that we need to cover. Not all this is our farm ground, but enough of these quarters are where the cows are going to be. That's the area that the collars have to be in, and it's about 6,000 total acres. We're not farming all those acres like I mentioned, and so this is the area it's got to cover, and they are confident that they can get the cattle covered with one tower. I also have another pasture that I just bought that's about 24 miles away, and we'll probably be able to cover that 320 acre pasture with one tower. But it was a great day. We just went over a bunch of questions I had. They went over everything that they kind of covered everything that I had questions on. They asked me questions about meeting ranchers' needs in the area. And I'm sure that watching this, you guys have a ton of questions. Well, I'm going to have a follow-up video that I'll make at the end of the year that will kind of document everything that I've gone through with learning how to do the collars. We'll have that video out in 2026. And then we'll also probably do a field day sometime this year going over the collars. If you want to see them in action earlier than that, I know this is coming up real quick, so if you're watching this video, or good chance that this has already taken place because this is 2 weeks from now, but Daniel will have a day at his ranch that's coming up. I'm going to put that right here. That's when Daniel's day is. And you can go to Mush Rush's ranch and go to that tour. I'll also put a link in the notes for this YouTube video that you guys can go ahead and see the link to be able to sign up for that field day to see how things are going at Mush Rush's. It's a great company. I'm looking forward to documenting this in the future, but I really just wanted to show you guys what I'm doing in the winter, why it's really not feasible to do rotational grazing right now. based on what we're doing and all this. Like, a lot of stuff going on, and it's not really something I can do right now. But if we get these collars, it's going to be a game changer for us. I'm sure it's going to be a huge game changer for a lot of people. So I'm sure you guys have a lot of questions. I can't really answer them right now, but hopefully as I get going with the callers, I'll be able to answer all your questions. And the team members, that are on the Halter website, I'll put that in the link on there too. I'm sure you can ask those guys on that, those team members, all the questions you can ask. Anyway, that's all I have for you in this video. I'm hoping you're enjoying. Like I said, this year we'll do one video a month, and then I'm going to make a stockpile of videos, and we'll have a video every week in 2026. That's all I have for you. Hope you enjoyed the video. It's Jay Young signing out.